What's up, everybody? We are in the house tonight from the forum. Already got questions in the chat before we even freaking get on air. Love that. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I got a stellar cast with me. I'm gonna let them do the introducing of themselves. So we'll just go clockwise. Start us off, JC. Let them know who you are, where they can find your stuff.
What's up, everybody? I'm JC. You can find me on Twitter at JC Money Design. I'm one of the co-founders of the Sports Affiliation. You can find us at Sports Affiliate on Twitter, sportsaffiliation.com. You can also find us on YouTube. We have pretty much daily content that comes out, articles on the website. We got a lot of content on YouTube coming out, and then we also have a show with Hall of Famer, Fantasy Sports Hall of Famer Greg Kellogg. So that's on Thursday. So we also do some about the watch parties on Thursdays and Mondays, and we got the box breaks that we do as well. So if anybody's a collector of cards or memorabilia, I give away a lot of Hall of Fame stuff. So that's what I've been kind of doing lately. So come hang out with us.
All right, Jack.
Yeah, I know Tyler really wants like a wrestling promo, but
don't let me down.
I'm scarred today, guys. The problem you see, and you know how I got these scars, all these little fantasy players that you love getting injured at the first sign of trouble, all the way from Nick Chubb through to Christian Kirk. It's madness. It's lunacy. So you can find me Monday Mayhems, Thursday Thrillers. They're officially live every Monday, Thursday, 7 p.m. We're live Sunday, 8:30 a.m. to answer questions before all the games. And, of course, Wildcard Wednesdays still drop every Wednesdays. Make sure you go check it out, YouTube and Spotify.
That was impressive considering I thought he was asleep under the glasses. Not gonna lie. He didn't say anything for a second. I'm like, shit, Jack's asleep.
Yeah.
FF Mad Scientist on Twitter. You can find me everywhere. Literally, I'm like the wind. You can't go. I'm everywhere, man. Everywhere.
I'm like the wind. I come. I'm in. I'm out. I'm dropping this. I'm dropping that. We're here.
Yeah.
What's up, Albert? Thanks for tuning in. Albert's always good for popping into a live show. And we got questions hitting already. But before we get there, I got to get your take. What the hell happened on Thursday night? Like, I saw tweets all day that was like, what will you do tonight instead of watch Thursday night football? Because it was an absolute expectation of boredom, but yet we got a game. And I know Jack is got to be in his feels with this terrible towel on the wall, knowing he just got knocked out by 2-10 Patriots.
Yeah.
It honestly doesn't even affect me this year. Like, nobody has basically stated that the Steelers' record is fake more than me this year. Like, no one's been more beleaguered by this offense and watching this atrocity of a football team than me. It's like, dude, I've been saying it all year. The offense is disgusting. And just because we got rid of Matt Canada doesn't mean we got rid of his dumbass formations. Like, we're still running the same fucking offense. It's stupid.
I had like 70 shares of Zeke Elliott I acquired this weekend, so I was happy. Nobody wanted him. I didn't even like. I'm at the point where I don't put in waiver claims Tuesday night for most leagues because I'm just too busy. So Wednesday I'll go through and I'll fill up my holes with just whatever's there on free agency, and he was everywhere. Nobody even claimed him. I'm just like, oh shit, okay, Zeke Elliott, why not? And then I'm just there's no receivers, there's nobody there. Sure, why not? I'll take 28 points. Thanks. Thank you.
I played him in 3 different leagues, including Megala Bowl, which ultimately, like, I'm out already, so it doesn't matter. But like, I had picked him up and stashed him, and I had him in a couple dynasty leagues just for depth, and I threw him in my lineup.
Yeah, I started Zeke in every league that I have him in, including leagues where my team is stacked. And people are probably like, why would you put in Zeke over this guy? I also hit big on the Zeke over 2.5 receptions prop
Yeah, he killed that on the first drive of the game.
Yeah.
Stupid.
6 minutes in and check. We're good. Thank you.
Yeah. Like,
Easy
oh
money.
man, thank you. So gracious.
Yeah.
So we got chats already popping in. We got Chandler coming in. Do I start Allen or Purdy this week? Do you go with the number one quarterback in fantasy football, or do you go with the young gun?
To me,
What
it's
do you think?
you start your studs. You have to right now. It's too. I mean, I like Purdy, but I mean, it's so hard to sit Josh Allen. The last time I did that, you already know what happened to me. I got embarrassed.
Yeah, let's not.
I don't think it's that hard. I'm starting pretty licious.
Okay.
The matchup with Seattle, they're at home. San Francisco's rolling. Josh Allen, look, I have Josh Allen in lots of leagues, and I'm very nervous about this matchup on the road with KC, especially because like what we've seen from KC this year has not been shootout Mahomes. It's been run the ball in defense. Now, the fact that Pacheco's not going to be there, maybe it forces them to throw the ball, but it's like, who are they going to be throwing to? It's still going to be the same jabroni wide receivers. So it's like, I like Kelsey and Rashee Rice as much as the next guy, but we've seen it for now. This is not like week 2 where it's like, oh, the Chiefs can still turn out. It's like fucking week 14 by now, guy. Like the over under on this game is what? 50? I would take the under.
Yeah, I just think about last time that he played Seattle. It was not a very, very exciting for him. 10, not even 11 points in fantasy is not a good look.
Brock Purdy has been awesome. This matchup is awesome. He is the highest I've ever had him ranked in a single week this week. He is QB9. He is so good this week. He could be anything. He could even be Josh Allen. So take Josh Allen.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, obviously Purdy's hot. You can go with the hot hand. Josh Allen's been struggling, but then he could also come out on fire. But either way, I think Josh Allen's floor is better.
Is it though? Because who's more likely to throw 3 passing touchdowns? Josh Allen on the road against the Chiefs with how bad that offense has been struggling, or Brock Purdy at home with the San Francisco 49ers against the Seattle Seahawks, who've been giving it up to every which way?
He could absolutely throw 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns, but Josh Allen could run for 2. I don't think you're really.
If someone on San Fran scores 3 touchdowns this week, his name's Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I love about McCaffrey. He loves to take them through the air for you, and Brock Purdy gets those too.
It's true. I mean, we'll see, I guess. But good question right off top, Chandler. You kind of got a split there. Hope that helps a little bit of context. Nino Pena coming in with Kirk on IR. I got an extra spot on my bench. Would it be excessive to stash a third playoff defense?
Yes. Who are your first 2?
I mean, yes.
Anything else?
No matter who the other 2 defenses are, it's excessive to have 3 defenses in any league. Yeah. But especially, I feel you about Christian Kirk on IR, because the whole stupid monologue I had at the beginning that I stole from The Dark Knight was because of Christian Kirk getting injured on the first play of the game and knocking me out of my home league playoffs.
No, that hurts so bad.
By 6 points. Yeah, felt real juicy.
I don't know.
He said he's got the Jets and Falcons, but thinking about getting Chiefs.
Why are you holding the Jets?
Why?
Let go of the Jets.
Holding the Falcons. I don't care what the matchup is. They suck.
You know what? Falcons are a better defense than you think. I streamed them very successfully against the Jets, actually, like last week. So you could be holding them for that. I wouldn't play them against the Bucs, though. You could literally drop both those defenses and go grab Chiefs and Eagles. But honestly, Eagles have really tough matchups. I've seen them dropped in a lot of leagues. They feel like more of a landmine. My streaming defenses that I like for this week, I actually like the Chargers. So if they're out there, go pick them up. Or even easier than that, the Packers playing against my favorite waiver ad, Mr. Tommy DeVito. Hey, I'm on waivers over here.
Jets are DST 6. Falcons are DST 18. There's no need to roster the Falcons at this point.
There you go.
Whoever you're adding off waivers, drop the Falcons for them.
Perfect.
Yeah. I would drop the Falcons for the Chiefs. Chiefs have been solid. Chiefs have been positive points all season. You know, it's
a crappy schedule, don't they? They get the Bills this week. Then they get now after this week they get Patriots, Raiders, Bengals, but I don't want them this week.
Yeah, but for the next 3, give me them Chiefs, baby.
Yeah, just not this week.
But this week you play the Jets. You can get by with the Jets this week.
Houston, who is it? It's not Houston this week, is it? Who is it?
Yeah, it is. I would not play them.
Yeah, I don't want Houston this week.
I would absolutely play them. You're gonna have they're depleted, no Tank Dell. You're gonna have Nico Collins against Sauce Gardner. That's not gonna go good in his way.
Noah Brown should be back though.
On the ground.
Stream the Packers was the right answer.
Defense.
Yeah, I like that.
Defense.
Stream the Packers. That's the right answer. They get the Giants.
Well, Jelly, speaking of defense, wants to know if you like the Colts.
And it's a Monday night game.
Or for week 16, 17.
The Colts for 16, 17?
No, because it literally doesn't matter what the matchup are. The Colts have been one of those teams that their defense has been really bad. I've been streaming against them.
Okay. Having said that, they're DST 3 on the year, and they get the Steelers, Falcons, Raiders in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I am all in on that. They will be my streamer of the week on at least one of the 3 playoff weeks.
But
they're suck in real life. But
it's such an inflated score, though, dude. You're talking about like the game last week against the Titans. They had the 2 punt blocks, 1 for a touchdown. Like they get like these crazy, sometimes they get in these weird shootouts and they have a defensive touchdown. They had the one with Raheem Moore. I had a 50-point game in IDP with Raheem Moore getting like multiple interceptions. It's like the most random stuff that happens. It's not really what I would be counting on from my DST going into like championship week and stuff. The Colts are like giving up like 30 points a game, it feels like.
That can be said of every team. Dallas has a guy who has the NFL record in pick sixes. We can't rely on that. I don't know. I'm fine. I feel fine streaming the Colts in a matchup like that.
Yeah, I mean,
so popping in.
They've been pretty consistent.
He's putting in his thoughts. The Falcons have a nice schedule, 15 through 17. It wouldn't be quick to throw them away. Either way, what we're talking about here is there's a lot of streamable defenses. Like I feel like you can go and you can grab a defense for the most part that's going to find double-digit points. I can't believe Chiefs and Eagles are sitting over on or Chiefs are sitting on the waivers. Eagles, Hassan Reddick's gotten been killing the pass rush. You've got Chiefs have been solid, Falcons have been solid, Jets. Colts number 3 on the season, and the last 4 games have been double digits. So you can go get a defense. I'm definitely not back to the original question. I'm not worried about carrying 3 defenses. I would be more apt to go try to find a player that could be back or could have a good playoff schedule as a streamer.
You kind of hit on it, though. The amount of injuries that we've seen this year, especially at the quarterback position, there's so many streaming defenses. I wouldn't want to hold more than 1 because there's always going to be an option available to me. So I would just hold 1 defense per week and then just stash as many players as I can on my bench.
I agree with that.
I don't know. It depends on your league. I agree in general, but you got to know your league mates because I don't know about you. Once I get into the playoffs, maybe not in the first round, but if I go into a second round and I'm looking ahead and I see that my possible opponent for next week is streaming defenses, I'm picking up the best defenses a week ahead of time. And I'm playing keep away from them. So it depends on how sharp your league is. I'd rather not risk it, and I'd rather plan a week ahead and beat them to the punch. So I don't mind holding 2 defenses. Holding 3 is excessive.
Yeah. Okay, Josh Dobbs got dropped in my league. Should I drop Howell for him?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I'm dropping him either. I mean, Dobbs does get Justin Jefferson back, which is nice, but we got to see what Dobbs is going to be. We got to see what he's going to be.
Does he have any issues this week? Because Howell's on bye. Like, is it a bye week issue for you? Do you need Dobbs to fill it in, or?
Yeah, I'm not dropping Howell though. He's been slinging the ball.
No, I mean unless he has to, like because Howell doesn't play this week. So I wouldn't drop him either unless he has to. Like if you have no quarterback, you have to drop him. But
yeah,
I'd be trying to figure out a way to drop somebody else.
I agree.
But like that.
I agree.
All right, so
again, I would actually just do it regardless, even if just forget the bye. Like, yeah, Howell's been slinging it in terms of yardage. That's gone down a little bit as of late. And you look at the schedule, obviously the bye week, nobody beats the bye week, so he gets a big fat 0. And then at the Rams, at the Jets, home against San Fran to finish out the season. Whereas Josh Dobbs had a much kinder schedule, and he gets Justin Jefferson back. So it's like at Vegas and then at Cincinnati. That's beatable. Home versus Detroit, and Detroit's defense has kind of been going in the wrong way as of late. And then home against Green Bay. So it's like those are much more beatable matchups, I feel like, compared to what Howell's got to deal with. I would actually do it straight out.
Here's the deal, though. We don't even know if Dobbs could come out again and have a huge flop day again. And guess what? In comes, the rookie. They put the rookie in, and then they just see what they got with the rookie the rest of the year, I bet you.
That would be I don't know why they would do that. They traded for Dobbs for a reason. I don't see them like just because Dobbs had a bad game or if he has another bad game that they're just gonna be like, well, fuck this season, put Jaron Hall in there and let him tank our team. I don't see that happening.
Jaron Hall actually looked very good until that. I mean, he tried to run into the end zone, took a concussion. I mean, he was 5 for 6 for like 80-something yards. Like, he was pretty damn good. He has actually had better stats than Dobbs in that game. Dobbs just had like a whole bunch of rushing stats, and Hall had rushing stats too. So I mean, he just got concussed,
I love it. You start talking about JC's Vikings. He starts putting it out there.
Be honest about that team.
I'm saying, like, if you were a Cardinals fan, I feel like you would be spinning roses for fucking Clayton Tune right now, trying to tell me he's
No,
is replacement backup level for a reason.
No.
I think Dobbs is going to be the starter for the rest of the year, barring injury.
Maybe.
It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So if you're tuned in, make sure you like and subscribe to this video. So in this show, it is a Q&A. So make sure you are filling up the chat with your questions this week. We will try to get to all of them. We also answer questions from fantasyfootballadvice.com. That is our social media network platform for fantasy football only. Place where you can go at any point in time and ask your questions. And you got great guys like all three of the people on the show right now that go in, answer your questions, throw out their thoughts, and tons of great content, articles, videos, podcasts to grab a hold of, listen to, and, step your game up. So we're going to flip over to Fantasy Football Advice Network right now and check out our first question of the night from JayZ A. Mudio, 24. Flex, I need 2 players to start. I have Aaron Jones, Romeo Doubs, Madison, Lockett, Roschon Johnson. Who are you taking to start? Pick 2. Let's hear it, Aaron.
Dobbs and Madison.
Without a thought, that's it.
Jones, I don't trust to stay healthy. Lockett's been losing touches to JSN. Roschon is interesting. He seemed to be taking over, but I don't trust that backfield. Dobbs, I think, is the easy start. And Madison, I want to check his matchup, but I feel like unless it's an insanely
bad the Raiders. They're going against the Raiders.
Yeah, it's good enough. I don't like how Ty Chandler's taking touches, but I think it's Dobbs and Madison.
I would still go with Lockett, and Doobie is the easy answer. He's right about that part.
Yeah, I mean, Madison's probably going to get you if you're looking for like 7 points. That's what you're going to get probably from Madison. If Dobbs is the guy who's going to be starting at quarterback, that again is going to take away from Madison. Justin Jefferson being back, that also takes away from Madison.
You didn't mention if it was PPR. I guess if you're playing standard in the year of 2023, I'll switch to the running back. But full PPR, you're 7 points. I'll get the 7 points from Lockett and hope he finds the end zone. Also, just the matchup with San Fran too. Like Lockett is the type to take advantage of that matchup. Just kind of the way he plays. I think it could be a decent Lockett day. You could see 5 for 65 and a tutty.
Yeah, if Seattle is going to beat San Francisco or going to be competitive with San Francisco, they're going to have to do it through the air. And so the question is, who do you think really benefits? We did see last week in the end, like trying to dish it to Lockett. And get downfield in the 2-minute drill. I don't mind Lockett. I think that's a good pick out of the group. I'm intrigued by Roschon. I'm wondering if the Bears are starting to say, hey, let's take a hard look at what we have, because I think they're trying to figure out what next year's going to look like. You see that they're not rushing Foreman back. Herbert got less touches. I don't know. Like, do we see them give Roschon a full, load? I can say this: if you're already in the playoffs, I might roll with it for intrigue. If you're fighting for the playoffs, you probably go for a safe bet. Dude's got a lot of touches last week. Lockett's gonna get touches. I like those two. I just can't get behind Madison.
Yeah, I think Roschon would be, if you're looking for the running back here, I think it's going to be Roschon to me. I think they're going to kind of see what they got with this kid too, like you said. He didn't look too bad last week.
So we got Wendy, let me say, what's up, Wendy? Thank you for coming and hanging out.
What's up, best friend?
Alwaysbomb.com. CEH or McKinnon as a stash? Who are you stashing?
All right. This is what you do, all right? You just square up, really plant a firm base, and then punch yourself right in the face.
I think it's McKinnon.
It is McKinnon.
In the playoffs, he shows out for some reason, and it's like same thing with like Devin Singletary. Once it gets to the fantasy playoffs, somehow Devin Singletary gets shit together and scores.
They trust him late in the season, McKinnon, because he's a veteran. It's McKinnon.
Yeah, I agree. It's McKinnon. We saw it last year. He really started to get a lot of passing touches. He was getting like a touchdown a game through the air. If we see any kind of production like that, which we should, because Pacheco was getting receptions, and reality is, Mahomes isn't really getting it to anybody else. He's got, people dropping passes on wide open touchdown routes, streak routes down the middle. Like, it just is.
Dude,
he's got to use those running backs.
Last year, week 14, 15, he was RB1 in both of those weeks. Then he got Seattle, RB19, and then week 17, RB7. So, that's McKinnon for you last year.
Yeah, if you're going to stack one, it's McKinnon, but
with Pacheco.
I seem to have a little more hesitancy, I guess, and pessimism that he's going to just walk back into being league-winning playoff McKinnon again this year with this, beleaguered version of the Chiefs' offense.
He could. Here's the thing: McKinnon could come in and be what everybody hoped Eckler would be for your fantasy playoffs. That's the ceiling is way there. I don't think CEH's ceiling is anywhere near, and I think that's the difference. If the conversation between those two, I think it's easy McKinnon.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here's one non-fantasy question. Patrick said, who do you guys have in the Super Bowl?
Probably the Niners.
Chiefs, Niners.
Yeah, that's right.
Chiefs were definitely still my preseason answer. I feel like I want to change it because they just haven't been that good. But honestly, all the other teams, the problem is they've also fallen by the wayside. So it is probably inevitably going to be Chiefs Niners.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs will end up winning. Then Travis Kelce will retire, and he'll follow Taylor Swift around on tour for the rest of his life.
I can tell you this. I agree. I mean, the Chiefs will probably somehow find a way, but in this, dream world that I tend to live in, there is two high-powered offenses that meet that the coaches were on the same team previously, and I want
Eagles.
no, I want to see San Francisco Miami Dolphins Super Bowl. I think it would be electric.
Yeah, it could be.
Tyreek, McCaffrey,
Achane.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough considering the Dolphins are total frauds.
Yeah.
Maybe, but they can win games. I mean, the hard part is going to be getting, through the playoffs. I feel like they're a team that, could choke, but wouldn't it just be wonderful? All
right, I got one for you. Okay. The dark horse Super Bowl winner from the AFC side will include a former Super Bowl MVP who is playing in this year of 2023, Mr. Stone Pony himself, JoeFlaco, will guide the Browns through the playoffs to a Super Bowl on the back of Myles Garrett just turning it on and having an LT type of playoffs. Like, it's really going to be on the back of Myles Garrett just destroying, ripping the faces of the quarterbacks. He's going to take out Tua. He's going to take out Mahomes. And JoeFlaco is going to be there just to man the ship and keep it steady. And the Browns will get to their first Super Bowl in fucking forever. And they will. And then JoeFlaco will do what he does. He'll fucking throw for 404 in the Super Bowl. And we'll remember JoeFlaco for the rest of our lives as having won. It'll be like the thing. Flacco won 2 Super Bowls. He sucked in the regular season all the way through that Ravens run and then turned it on and had a magical playoff run and won a Super Bowl. And it's going to be the same thing with the Browns now. Fucking a decade apart.
So he's Eli Manning?
Yeah. Well, Eli getting to the next degree, though, because Eli did it in a short span against 2 Patriots teams where he just fucking destroyed them. But it is kind of that similar arc that I'm talking about. Just to kind of throw out, it's more of the story I think would be fucking amazing if it happened.
They meet the Dolphins. They can beat the Dolphins in the playoffs.
I think they could.
That defense alone. The Dolphins can't beat a good defense.
Yeah, the Browns do have a stellar defense. I don't think I can't get behind the Flacco to the Super Bowl thing. But I entertained the mind a lot.
Watch Deshaun Watson watch JoeFlaco win the Super Bowl while he sits back and collects $200 million.
The dark horse for the AFC is the team Flacco used to play for, Baltimore. That's
Baltimore sneaky. Baltimore is sneaky. Wouldn't it be crazy for one Harbaugh to get a collegiate national championship and the other one to get a NFL Super Bowl championship in 1 year? Wouldn't that be nuts? Let's see. CEH or Kareem Hunt in PPR?
Hunt.
Yeah, probably Kareem Hunt.
Do you want a touchdown every week? Kareem Hunt.
CEH.
See, what makes you, Aaron? I got to be curious because what we've seen of CEH over the last, few years has been pretty. I mean, not great. He doesn't run like Pacheco does. I mean, what do you see in CEH that you think separates him, or is it what you don't see in Hunt that lifts CEH on top?
So we have a guy who's been crap for a few years suddenly get thrust into the number 1 role in a pretty decent matchup. Sounds like Zeke Elliott last night. It's a process play. That and I don't like the
See,
matchup.
Zeke they didn't have another person to throw to. Zeke got most of his yards through the air. I mean, in Kansas City, they're going to have McKinnon. They didn't have anybody else for New England. It was Zeke getting all of it.
Kareem Hunt. If you told me CEH or Ford, I go Ford, but Hunt's the backup, so it's a backup against a potential starter.
Okay, just asking. I honestly am probably not starting either of these.
No, I don't want to either, but
unless I have to,
Whenever I get questions like these, I just always put myself in the mindset of Death Row Dynasty.
I'd rather McKinnon over both.
It has to be like 16 team. Like these are the only options I have to fill my RB2 spot because of XYZ reasons in his dynasty. I can't go pick up McKinnon on waivers. He's on somebody else's team. When I get questions like that, I try to just put myself in that mindset, and then I say that too, and I'm like, assuming this is like fucking super deep dynasty. If you're doing this in redraft, you're probably out of the playoffs or on your way out. So brace yourself.
Brace yourself. Jerry popping in. What's up, Jerry? Say what?
So James Conner's on a bye this week too,
Yeah, you do have a lot of people on bye.
Just 2 teams this week, but still good amount of running backs.
Dak or Josh Allen this week?
Dak.
Yes.
I think that's I'm with it. I like Dak. Again, if you're tuned in right now, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. We're trying to get through all these questions. Looks like Jerry says he has some trivia for us tonight. Thanks, Jerry. We love trivia.
Yeah,
Speak for yourself.
Question is, what year did Seahawks become a team in the NFL?
1953.
Is that a guess?
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm not gonna Google it. I'm just gonna say 1953, and if it's right, holy fuck, does that look amazing?
In the 70s, 70, 74, 76, 78,
76.
Like
Says
76?
right behind me. Says right behind me.
Oh, it is 76. My answer 76.
It says right behind me.
It does say that. It does say that right behind him. I
wonder if that's why he asked. He was like, let me just get him real quick live on air. Thanks, Jerry.
Right.
Thanks for trying to set us up, buddy.
I knew it was an even number in the 70s.
So William Watkins tuning in tonight. William, thanks for tuning in. Javonte Williams, David Montgomery, or Jahmyr Gibbs, half-point PPR need to. What do you say?
Gibbs, Montgomery, Javonte. Gibbs and Montgomery are 11-12 for me. Javante's like 18 maybe. Let me check. Javonte is 19. So.
This is half point though.
Gibbs.
I don't do rankings the way Aaron does, but I answer these questions kind of like the answer is both, but it just depends on your situation. So, like, are you the 1 seed and you're just like looking for a base level of points, and the other guy started already like Najee Harris or some bullshit? Like, you're up already, you have an advantage, some kind of big advantage. Like, if you're just looking for the base level of points, I actually think I would go with Montgomery and Javonte, because Gibbs, it's fucking annoying, the usage, how it can go up and down, left and right. But if you're the 6th seed, 5th seed, whatever it is, like you're fighting for a playoff spot, you're fighting for any kind of potential upside, I'm going with both Lions running backs.
Last 6 weeks, Jahmyr Gibbs is the RB2.
Yeah, I think so. If you want a different scenario, I still think you're going Gibbs and Montgomery here because they both balled out last time they played Chicago. But you can go revenge narrative back in Chicago, David Montgomery. I don't know if you want to go that route. Just to play
the two Lions. Play the Lions.
The cool thing is, the Lions running back group, that Montgomery Gibbs tandem is like the Chubb Hunt tandem of last year. Like, every week, both can be relevant. You know what I mean? And both can put up double-digit points. And even if the Lions don't win or don't score a lot of points, they can still both put up double-digit points. So I'm not scared to go both of those guys. Javonte still looks a little. I mean, he's still looking a little sluggish. Obviously, coming off the injury last year, he's got a little more pep, and I've liked seeing him be a little bit more involved in the passing game. You know, at least 3 receptions in 5 of the last 6 games. You know, we're seeing an uptick, but still in the last 3 games, you got like 7 points, 10 points, 10 points. You know, the Chargers are pretty cake matchup, but you know, I don't mind rolling with the Lions.
9 touches. That's what Gibbs had last week. That's why I'm saying, like, over the last 2 weeks specifically, we've seen them reverting to that early season usage when they were using both Opportunity and Gibbs, and it's fucking annoying as a Gibbs owner because trust me, I have him in a league, and watching him break off this electric run to get taken down at like the 2-yard line, and then watching Opportunity waddle his way out to steal the touchdown is incredibly frustrating every single time. And if you watch Gibbs get 9 touches total in your playoff matchup, you're going to rip your fucking hair out. So like I'm saying, if you are the team that needs the upside, then yeah, play both Lions. But if you're the team that's in first place and you're just looking to bank points, I would take Javonte and Montgomery.
So in the last time they played Chicago, Monty had 12 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. Gibbs against Chicago last time they played had 21 points with 8 carries for 36 and a touchdown, but 6 of 6 receiving for 59 yards.
Yeah, that was one of Monty's first games back though, from when he was injured. So again, he wasn't all the way worked into. Now we've seen the last 2 weeks, the healthier he gets, all of a sudden the lower the usage for Gibbs has been getting.
They both got lower usage the last 2 weeks because they played 2 tough run defenses the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but the passing work hasn't been there. He had the 8 targets the 2 weeks prior, but then last week, only 2 targets.
Yeah, but Monty also only had 2 targets. It's not like he's losing.
2 targets is the difference. Monty doesn't need a fucking single target, that guy. He just needs to get his stupid plopping touchdowns that he's stealing from Jahmyr Gibbs.
I said to play Monty, but the answer is Gibbs and Monty.
No, I agree, but I'm saying that's why I'm saying the baseline to me is I would switch to Javonte. Again, it's like if I'm just looking to bank points, I just need to know for sure my guy's going to go out there and get 10. I can't have a situation where Buddy gets 9 touches again. Then I would take the absolute safe floor of Javonte and Montgomery. But in every other situation where it's like you're playing for playoffs, you're playing for upside, you're playing a higher seed, you're playing someone with a good team, all of those upside situations, I would then throw in Gibbs.
Javonte's cracked 12 half PPR points twice all season.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I mean, I think Jack's got an argument with the floor, like going for touch. I think the argument is touches, like Javonte's touches, Monty's touches. It's more touches, more possibility. I think what we're getting at is I think Gibbs has the more game breaking play ability, can get more points.
What's the floor argument, though? He has the lowest floor of all 3. He's only gone over 12 points twice all season. There is no argument. He has the lowest floor and the lowest ceiling. It's not even close. I can only read the numbers. I can't read it.
He's got 16 touches, 21 touches.
I don't care how many touches he had. How many fantasy points did it turn into? Nothing. If I get 100 touches and I run straight into the back of my lineman, it doesn't count for anything. I don't. Do you play in a points per touch league?
Against Kansas City and Buffalo, 2 tough run defenses wrapped around the bye. He had back-to-back 20-point games.
So William did say, and this may settle the debate. William did say, I need upside.
Then you go Gibbs.
So there it is. We can crush it before Aaron and Jack start throwing punches, at each other in the screen. What a show! We're gonna have a real deal WWE wrestling match right here on From the Forum Friday night. Pay-per-view tickets in the chat. Make sure you get a super chat or you're getting kicked out. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Huge underdog, Gabe Davis or Drake London. I have Josh Allen. Are you pairing Allen and Davis, or are you throwing London in there this week against a garbage matchup?
Gabe
Drake
Davis.
London. I'm going Drake London. I got him as my upside play this week.
What do you think, Aaron? Can you break the tie over there?
Drake London. The matchup. The matchup. So Gabe Davis is easy. You look at him and you say, okay, how do I know if Gabe Davis is going to be good? Let's look at the opposing defense. If they suck, Gabe Davis is good. This week, they are a good defense. Gabe Davis won't be good. So you go Drake London in an easy matchup.
No way. They're going to be all over Stephon Diggs. It's got it. If the Bills win that game, if they compete in any realistic form, it's going to be through Gabe Davis.
I'll be right back. I'm going to see if I have any alcohol.
We have got to that level, and he's actually going to see if he got any alcohol. I appreciate, Jack, that you're always willing to be out there, by yourself, which is cool. In fantasy, you should be able to make your own takes and roll with.
Tampa's allowed 4.
He's the right answer no matter what, because he's going to get you 0 or he's going to get you 25. That's the thing. And he said
Tampa's allowed 4 top 14 players or wide receivers in the last 5 weeks. So I'm good with that.
Yeah,
I loved Drake London a lot going into this season. He was the only Falcons player that I was legitimately high on. I trashed the fuck out of Kyle Pitts and even Bijan Robinson in the preseason. And it was primarily because of Arthur Smith's offense and the way he runs it. And so he's got room for an AJ Brown light spot. I thought that would be Drake London. It hasn't been there all year.
The Jim Beam's out.
Ironically enough, I traded Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow for Josh Allen and Drake London in a redraft, and everyone lost their minds.
No, look, here's the thing for me. I agree, Jack. Gabe Davis has a huge ceiling in the fact that you never know which game it's going to be, if it'll be him or Shakir. Yeah. But he's, it's going to be a deep bomb or something that he gets that will make him fantasy relevant. His floor is really low because it's either no receptions or 1 reception or that. I do think Tampa's defense has been garbage. I do think that they've allowed a lot of top pass catchers. And so I think that Drake London has the potential to actually elevate this week, over a Gabe Davis that I'm just scared of Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis is playing the lottery. You know what I mean? You never know.
About lottery. Drake London has 1 game this entire season over 100 yards. 1.
Yep.
Yeah, but if Gabe Davis has over 100 yards, it was mostly all on 1 pass.
Yeah, but that's the point. He's done it multiple times that he shows up randomly, and it's usually when you're I'm going to fade him because it's a tough defense and it's a tough matchup. And kids, if you're fading Gabe Davis, you should also be fading Josh Allen. We had the question earlier about Josh Allen.
I am fading Josh Allen.
If you're taking Josh Allen over Brock Purdy, you should also be taking Gabe Davis here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
How does Josh Allen outperform Brock Purdy for fantasy if Gabe Davis just doesn't show up in gooses?
Because Drake London is a wide receiver 1. Gabe Davis is the 3. Here, I feel like it's more opportunity.
GPD is going to be all over Stephon Diggs. So it's going to be
you got
Kincaid, Gabe Davis.
Is Dawson Knox back this week?
Oh, dude. Let me go.
I mean, that's more targets. It's more targets. I mean,
Dawson Knox, he says.
Dawson Knox.
More opportunities that are going away from
Fort Knox coming back from the dead.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna leave that. We're split again. Tonight is remember, this is the WWE special. We are split. Aaron is getting drunk because he can't take it anymore. Jack is like trying to bring it up with everybody. It's guys. This is why you tune into the show. You might
I
actually
didn't know this was supposed to be the agreement podcast. So yeah,
no, not the agreement podcast. Not the agreement podcast. Okay. Big favorite this week, Jordan Love or Justin Herbert. He has Keenan Allen. So same thing again. Are you pairing Justin Herbert with Keenan Allen, or are you going Jordan Love this week? You already said Dobbs was a start.
Yeah, I'm going Jordan Love. It's hard for me to say as a Vikings fan, but Jordan Love has actually been looking really well, and I actually have Herbert like last week I picked Mahomes as a guy as my farce player, and a farce player is somebody that you think is a top 14 player at their position who will finish outside the top 14. And I took a ballsy move and went Mahomes last week. He ends up finishing 16. I got Herbert at my farce this week. I think he just right outside the top 14. I think Jordan Love can do pretty well this week.
It's tough because it's a divisional matchup, and I'm inclined to agree with you because the Broncos defense, and I've been saying it too, their rankings are so hyper inflated because of that Dolphins game where they got absolutely rickety wrecked like a fucking Madden game. And it's like messed up their defensive rankings to where now if you're trying to like look at like the matchups, it like super tilts the rankings. They're still ranked like 31st against the run, even though they've been significantly better against the run for like several weeks now. So I don't disagree with you, but I feel like this is going to end up being a wash with if Christian Watson's not going to play and you're going to get the collect, and especially if Aaron Jones too is also still missing. Like Jordan Love has played well, but this feels very much like it's going to be like a 202 game. I feel like they're both going to end up with 20 fantasy points this week. So it just kind of feels like a wash, but I think because he's got Keenan, I would still be inclined to go with the stack, but it's tough. I get it.
Jordan Love can finish with 150 yards and 3 touchdowns and have give you 1 week. So we've seen that the first couple of weeks of this career or this year. It's the amount. It's crazy how deep their weapons are. You don't think about it, but the Packers have so many receivers. Just everybody catches the ball on that team.
Well, I said it at the beginning. Like, yeah, it's a very deep cast of characters, but they're also all very young. There's not a single receiver in that room that has more than 2 years experience. And even the tight ends are rookies. You talk about A.J. Dillon only has 3 years. The only veteran presence they have on that whole offense is Aaron Jones and a couple guys on the O-line. So it's like it's a very young team. And it's just like it's a Monday nighter against the Giants. I feel like he's going to end up, like I said, 20 to 25 fantasy points. I don't disagree with you. It's just, do you think Herbert really is going to sink past that floor? And I could see a world where he does. So
18 points.
Maybe Jordan Love ends up being the right answer. I think you've kind of convinced me.
Well, I mean, I just want to say one more thing, and then Josh Allen got shut down, CJ Stroud got shut down, and Josh Dobbs got shut down. Those were all top 10 quarterbacks that got shut down by the Broncos in the last 5 weeks. So
well, that's what I was saying. Their defense has been much improved.
Jordan Love 1 spot higher, 11 and 12. Jordan Love at 11.
There you go.
That's what I was saying. It feels like they're going to end up like right next to each other.
I think having the Keenan Allen thing would tip the scale a little bit for me. Like I feel like if as my team plays, having them that close, I would probably go Herbert and Allen, just hoping that the stack really hits. It could be detrimental, but just in my mind, that's typically how I would do it. So I would go that route. But I do think Love could have a big week this week. I think that Staley and Kellen Moore are probably on their way out. That Chargers team should be a lot better than what they are this season. It's pretty wild.
I have a quick question for the group here because I always do fantasy receipts at the beginning of Monday Mayhem, and the Chargers and Cowboys offense have been like a recurring theme for me I was definitely wrong on both. I definitely thought Kellen Moore leaving the Cowboys, going to the Chargers, would make the Chargers a much better offense. And I assumed that Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer would ultimately tank, especially the run game. And we kind of saw it earlier on with Tony Pollard, where he was definitely freaking people out as a potential bust because they were running him up the center's ass every week. But now it feels like they've kind of figured it out even for Pollard in the run game. So I've been kind of, holding the L for Cowboys offense and Chargers offense all year. What are some of your guys, offenses that really surprised you either by just fully disappointing or being way better than you thought they were going to be?
Don't take the L on Tony Pollard just yet. You were right. If you look, he's only been good because he had 3 of the easiest running back matchups you could possibly ask for. He'll get worse. If the trade deadline hasn't passed, he's a sell high.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
because the efficiency of the offense, but it hasn't been as bad for fantasy. But are there specifically any offenses you guys were like, what the hell is going on?
Probably, I mean, Minnesota could be one. I mean, obviously, a lot of people thought, Minnesota, obviously, we saw them winning last year by 3 points almost every week, 2 points and getting by. But I thought they'd be doing a little bit better than this. How they started the year was just absolutely terrible. Losing Jefferson hurt, you didn't see that coming. I mean, I saw Madison not being good. I mean, that's about it from that team. I knew
everyone was too low on the Texans. Everyone's too high on the Bills. The Texans and Bills, nobody got right.
Yeah.
The Chiefs' offense has been very let down in comparison to what they should be, I feel like.
I thought the Steelers' offense would be better.
Yeah, that one pissed me off too.
They need some offensive line.
They need to overhaul the offense and go back to, Pittsburgh power offense, because I can't watch another shotgun formation in Pittsburgh or I'm going to fucking lose my shit.
What about Washington?
We're going to pop over to the Advice Network again for a question. So Who Day 2023 said it's a long shot, but Tommy Boy DeVito or Matthew Old Man Rivers Stafford for this Week 14 battle. I'm in a cold, hard, stiff battle for next year's number 2 pick. So he's at the bottom of the league. And does he go Stafford or DeVito?
Hey, I'm on waivers over here. You got to go with my boy Tommy DeVito because you're actually doing the reverse. You're battling for the number 2 pick. So you're actually starting the lineup that you're hoping is going to get less points. I think Stafford, even in a tough matchup on the road against the Ravens, could potentially still outscore DeVito most weeks. So I'm going to put in, hey, Tommy DeVito.
He's right.
Yeah.
If you're trying to win, start Stafford. If you're trying to lose, start DeVito.
There you go.
We had an agreement between Aaron and Jack tonight. What's up? All right. Vito, speaking of Vito, not DeVito, but Vito is in the chat and says, London, Amari, Brees, Spears, and CEH. Pick one, full PPR.
One sec. Brees, Amari. Well, it's not CEH or London. I feel like it's Brees, but I just want to double check.
Yeah, I don't know if he's. I know he was questionable.
It's Brees. Well, assuming he plays, it's Brees. Otherwise, it's.
Good Lord.
Spears.
Terrible.
It's Brees.
Jack, no Flacco love, no Amari over there.
Well, it's only because I gotta just. He's questionable and he keeps getting banged up. We'll see if he makes it through concussion protocol. If he does make it through concussion protocol and plays, then I'm just gonna go with the wide receivers because it's full PPR. I'm gonna throw in London and Amari.
Just need one, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go
London.
But
I'm gonna go Brees because
Brees.
Brees.
I don't like it, but that's the one.
Brees has out targeted Cooper in like the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, the last 3 weeks he had 6 targets, 9 targets, 8 targets, 5 receptions, 7 receptions, 6 receptions. So he's definitely getting
yourself. Targets aren't all built the same, and it's like those
it's full
targets, he's
PPR.
averaging 3 yards a reception because they're coming from behind the line half the time.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is full PPR. So just on receptions alone, you're talking about 6-7 points, not to count what he'll actually do on the ground against that team, or what he'll if he actually breaks one on a pass.
He's outgaining him on the passing yard or receiving yards as well. They both have a crappy yards per target or yards per catch. They're both
the Texans are middle of the road.
I mean Brees and Amari Cooper.
Yeah. I think I'm Brees here on sheer. I'm gonna take Jack's logic. I'm gonna go on sheer touches. Sheer touches. I'm gonna go Brees.
I'm gonna say this is like the only other game this year that Drake London potentially tops 100 yards, and I'm gonna go with him.
I'm going Drake London too.
Didn't you just argue Drake London was terrible?
No, I said Drake London.
That was Jack.
Then whatever.
That's what I was talking to.
Yeah, I argued that
he's saying London's going to go for 100, but Gabe Davis is going to go for 140 and a touchdown.
Yeah, Gabe Davis Gabe Davis is all or nothing.
Hope that helps, Vito. It's split. Brees down the pipe, and then we got Brees on the, I guess, I don't know if you're looking at it, on the left-hand side, and London on the right-hand side. So keep kicking through here. If I miss your question, let me know. I'm trying to manage this this chat. Let's see here. Lucia said start Derrick Henry or CEH or McKinnon this week.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, it's hard to bench Henry. If I do bench Henry, I'm not benching Henry. I'm just going with Henry.
Yeah, I don't.
This is
stud.
Who's the matchup? This is gonna sound crazy. Start Derrick Henry if JayZ Spears isn't available on your waiver wire to pick up. That if you can get Spears, start Spears over Henry.
No.
Yeah.
I fully disagree. JayZ snap percentage Spears is a mirage. He's not a thing. Never been a thing.
We're all entitled to be wrong.
Hold on.
Literally, it took Derrick Henry getting knocked out of the game for him to have any kind of relevancy whatsoever, and Derrick Henry's not in concussion protocol. He's gonna play.
Okay.
He said okay.
What am I gonna do? I can't use logic. He disputes it anyway. So okay, I'm gonna have a drink.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go over one more question from the network, and if you guys are logged in, you can actually click on his poll because he just posted it, and so he doesn't have any comments on it yet. But let me click that over. We got Who Day again wanting to know who pick 2, wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3. Obviously, George Pickens is out. He's already played. And you're probably glad if you didn't play him anyways because the Steelers don't know how to use him. So do you go T. Higgins, Jalen Hyatt, Noah Brown, or Elijah Moore?
Barf.
You got to pick 2.
Do I have to?
Yes, that's the question, Jack. You got to pick 2.
Noah Brown.
Noah Brown goosed last week. Didn't do anything.
First week back from injury.
Noah Brown says JC.
I'm looking at it. I'm actually looking at this as we speak.
It's supposed to be like a crazy weather game in Cleveland too, isn't it? Elijah Moore though, like with Flacco, he's getting crazy targets.
Who's that? Is it? Who's going to be at quarterback for Pittsburgh this week?
Pittsburgh's already played. That one's out.
Oh yeah,
it was Trubisky,
and he's trash. Trash Bisky.
Yeah, Trash Bisky. Yeah.
God. You know what? I'm gonna go
So bad.
with Jalen Hyatt,
I can only answer one.
and I'm stuck between Elijah Moore and Noah Brown, but I think those are both supposed to be weather games.
It only lets me pick one.
It says pick 2 on the screen.
Yeah, he's talking about in the actual poll. It only lets him pick one. When
Yeah.
when he put up the poll, he didn't put multiple. He put where you can only answer one.
Higgins and Eli Moore.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Elijah Moore and Noah Brown. That's where I'm gonna go.
And I'm gonna confuse you, and I'm gonna go Jalen Hyatt, and final answer Elijah Moore.
So Elijah Moore is the 3-way.
3 for Moore, then a split between Higgins, Noah Brown, and Hyatt, with Higgins having 2.
There you go.
All righty. So, by the way, if you're watching right now, go to fantasyfootballadvice.com and sign up. You can post your questions in there. You can also comment on all these people's, stuff in the, that are asking questions in the network. Give your advice. Ask for advice. We're here to help you win leagues. We're really here to help you win in Dynasty in the off season, because it's coming. It's coming quick. And we got some cool stuff. We do several different tournaments, and we have the playoff challenge coming this year. Last year, our winner took home $2,000 in the playoff challenge. So be ready for that announcement coming. All right, let's go. We got another question in the chat. William said, Justin Herbert or Russell Wilson, half-point PPR. Who you taking? This one closes out the night.
Russ.
Half-point PPR doesn't count unless you're like starting Mariota.
I was gonna say, is this Taysom Hill a quarterback?
Yeah. Russ. Russ, it's second best matchup of the week for Russ.
Yeah.
Look at the Chargers. I like that. Yep. I like that too. I agree.
I'm with you. I want collegiate high school graduate, Wisconsin legend, the man, Danger Russ Wilson.
Nope, I can't do it. I'm going with Justin Herbert.
Dude, you just talked about how the Broncos have been a better defense. And guess what? It's Patrick Surtain, okay? They've actually been more than the ground. They've been effective against the pass. I'm not going with Justin Herbert and a struggling Chargers that don't even know who the heck they are as an offensive team against the defense that's on the trend up. And then Russell Wilson going against a team that's basically given up. And you know what I love about Russell Wilson the last bit? He started running the ball again. Russ is using his legs. And, that means more points. And, they're just looking better as an offense.
Herbert's been QB 15 and QB 23 the last 2 weeks.
This is where, again, I'm just a bit of a dog chasing cars, and it's where I get to just look the logic in the face and say, no, thank you, not today.
Just don't run into the other lane.
Somebody want to take old Yeller out back?
Don't run into the other lane.
Fantasy football, it is what it is. Like, you guys can go by just the majority most of the time, but I'm telling you, it's just I got a feeling. And I would say, honestly, over every fantasy analyst that exists on the planet, if you've got a gut feeling, go with that.
No, I do agree. So when I have calls that are close on Twitter, I'll tell somebody hey, these are really tight. I've got them one spot apart, or I think this this goes your way. So if you're debating, just go with the person that you thought would be the person first, because it's not necessarily that they will outperform or make the game-changing deal. It's more about the fact that if you didn't go with your gut and then they have the game, how you feel afterwards, right? Like if you went with your gut and you didn't hit, you're like, okay, at least I went with my guy. If you go with your gut or if you don't go with your gut and then the guy that you wanted to start hits, that feeling's awful, because you're like, man, I should have known. I shouldn't have known better. I should have just trusted myself, and that's where people get annoyed with fantasy analysts, on all these like Twitter feeds and stuff, and like they're just waiting for an opportunity. Like I had one guy who I saw on there, and he was like, the first time I ever listened to a fantasy analyst instead of trusting my gut cost me the game, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you're not confident, then it is what it is. Go with your gut. If you got somebody you really like, play them. If you make a mistake, it was your mistake, not somebody else's.
It's just advice. It's not. That's all it is.
Yeah, people forget that we can be wrong. Like we can be wrong. Like there is a level of like randomness to the NFL. You can look at stats and like numbers do trend. They do tell us things, but there's still like that unknown. Like will this week be Gabe Davis's 100-yard and a touchdown week? Who the hell knows? You know what I mean? So
NFL.
Just I agree with that. I mean, Jack, I don't think that your gut's leading you in the right way on this one, but if you have that,
it's just sometimes
gut rot.
All the numbers and all the rankings and everything, it's screaming, and I get it.
Aaron like that one.
Aaron's feeling that. He
like that one.
Drink.
That gut rot. You like that.
Look, we're not. By the way, we're not saying that if you have an alcohol problem, don't touch this stuff. Just like disclaimer,
You have an alcohol problem. Also, don't argue fantasy with me. Apparently,
yeah, you might. It might draw you deeper. All right. We don't have that line. Oh, there's the line. All right, this is the last question. Okay, last question of the night. I know I said that earlier, but all-in-one's a regular on the show, just popped in. Make sure you hit that like button. We're going to get to your question before we shut down for the night. Yo, guys, lineup evaluation for playoffs, but want to know if anybody should be subbed, okay? He's got Hurts, Monty A-Chain, Diggs, Waddle, likely Olave, Texans D, and Jason Sanders. I like that. I don't know who else is out there for you to put in, but I think that's a good lineup. I would like to have that heading into the playoffs.
I don't like your tight end, but
yeah, see, I don't like the tight end either.
In this matchup this week, Isaiah Likely, the second best matchup against the Rams. If Isaiah Likely doesn't produce this week, you've got to replace him. If he can't do it this week, he's not going to do it in the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying, though. You say that, and then it's like, that's exactly what he's going to fucking do. He's going to not produce this week when he should, and then he's going to overproduce the next week when he shouldn't, and everyone's going to feel like a fucking idiot because they're going to be like, oh, I dropped him and he went off. And That's fantasy. The reactionary.
So if I'm sitting at the table with a pair of aces against the guy with 2-7, I'm going to play the aces. Sure, occasionally, 2-7 is going to come through. It doesn't mean you should start playing 2-7.
No, and okay. I agree. I've said that before, and I agree with you that you should, for the most part, play the majority. But you also can't just like ignore how often outliers hit in football, especially where it's such a week-to-week proposition. What you know this week fucking means nothing to me next week, basically.
Who would you rather have, Kylan Granson or Isaiah Likely this week?
We already know where your head's at, Beard. All right, so hold on. This is his bench.
Kylan Granson gets.
Are you putting any of these guys in over his starters?
He's got Trey McBride on the bench.
He doesn't play this week.
No, I know, but he's got him for the playoffs, so you don't have to worry about Likely then, because you're starting McBride anyways.
Yeah.
So are you going Schultz would you rather have Schultz though than Likely? Is Schultz going to play this week?
Schultz is out. That's why he's not Likely, and Schultz is ruled out.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the question becomes running backs.
One is Zach Moss, but not over Montgomery or A-Chain. But who is in the flex? Can you go back?
Olave's in the flex. Are you putting any of these people in the flex?
No.
Probably not. I would want to get Zach Moss into my lineup, but that's the only one where I'm like kind of tilting a little bit. Everything else, I'm fine.
Who do you swap out?
I don't. That's ultimately the thing. Is like I would want to get him in, but I'm not going to put him in over Montgomery. I'm not going to put him in over A-Chain. I'm not going to put him in over Olave. So he ends up.
What would you move Olave?
Pissed.
Would you move Olave to wide receiver and move one of those wide receivers out and then put Moss in?
No, because it was Waddle and someone good.
Diggs.
Yeah, no. Even with the matchup, I'm still playing Diggs.
So all in one, you went with your gut, and everybody agrees it's a good lineup.
No gut rot.
No gut rot. Well, look, hey, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Thank you for supporting the channel. Please like, please subscribe. Please tell your friends about this show. We're on every Friday at 9 o'clock Central Time. I have a different cast and crew. Some of these guys, you'll see them again, but we have a different crew of analysts on with us every week, all part of the Fantasy Football Advice Network. And so for you, the biggest thing you can do if you want help all the time, instead of trying to find these random YouTube shows to ask your questions, go to fantasyfootballadvice.com and sign up. It's free to sign up. Free to sign up. We do have a pro membership, but it's free to sign up. You can ask your questions and everything with the free membership. Go sign up, put your questions in there, and we got your back. All right. So again, JC, Aaron, Jack. I can't yet. Jack. Thank y'all for coming on, and we will see you guys again next week. Peace, and have a killer weekend.